When you were telling your story about your mum, I also had like a similar situation. Uncle Nitin, he was an alcoholic.
I am in a really bad place because my mom had passed away. She had died 5 months.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry.
It was just so.
There was a loss in
I was a horrible moment.
She was trying to connect.
And I
now looking back, I get it.
You did not mean anything. You meant no harm. You were just trying to connect with me. But in that moment, I just wanted to get away and get out of that situation.
Respect that. And I respect that.
It felt
and I'm
very
sorry.
45 minutes late.
You're apologizing. I don't understand. I apologize to you, and I wish you would stop apologizing.
No.
We ripped apart your marriage. We ripped apart every time you tried to talk about your family.
Talking about Brynn. We ripped apart. Her talking. You're not even in it.
Coming up.
While you were at the ballet with Brad Pitt and Gwyneth, I was delivering newspapers with my mother.
I don't understand. I apologize to you, and I wish you would stop apologizing.
No.
We ripped apart your marriage.
Brynn, her and I are talking. You're not even in it.
I know it's not apples to apples, and I wasn't trying to do that. But watching it back, I realized, like,
you did not
it is her mother, and I absolutely did. I did not want to compare someone who is like a father to me. Let me just like set the record straight. But it's not the same, and I can't channel your emotions, and I wasn't trying to do that.
I know you weren't. I know you weren't.
Jessel, Bobby from Cumberland, Maryland said, you told the women you lived off your savings while trying to make it in fashion. Who has savings at 20 years old? Where did you get these savings? Doesn't that say privilege right there?
I worked at college and I had savings. I mean, and by the way, savings could be 5,000 or it could mean 10,000. It doesn't mean a trust fund, that's for sure.
You're not living off 5,000 in New York City, girl.
Having savings account and having college paid for is a privilege.
Listen, my parents started from scratch in England.
I totally get that. My dad started from scratch in Israel and had no money and came here with $5. But did you grow up poor? I'm just wondering.
We grew up comfortable, but certainly not lavish. And privilege or no privilege.
Thank you.
No, but privilege or no privilege, Erin, I shouldn't be made to feel shamed of how I grew up.
How would I be making you feel ashamed?
I'm just saying.
Well, you're picking apart her backstory.
Right.
I'm not. She's saying she grew up with nothing.
We had a very simple upbringing. While you were at the ballet with Brad Pitt and Gwyneth, I was delivering newspapers with my mother, okay?
Do you know my backstory? What my dad came from the Mayflower.
You guys, I was on the Mayflower.
Clearly, and you haven't changed. Kayla on Twitter says, Erin didn't like Brynn flirting with Abe. Now she's making negative insinuations about Jessel's marriage. Erin, what's the difference between what you did and what Brynn did?
Look, I'm really sorry. It just was not right. I shouldn't have even... I was poking fun. It wasn't funny. I would be upset if I were in your shoes. I genuinely, I'm sorry. I don't think there's any issue in your marriage. I think it's weird that he's flying to Vietnam for a sandwich. To me, that's strange.
He loves food.
I get it.
Do it.
I think it's weird.
He's president of the street food fried chicken committee in New York.
Exactly.
For me, Jessel, can you understand that? That would be strange to me. If Abe said, babe, I'm going to go to Thailand. I'm going to go get a pad thai and I'll be back.
Did Pavitt go to Vietnam?
He did.
How was his trip?
It was great. He's going to drop his Vietnam street food list soon.
Sai, you called Jessel a liar for saying Pavitt was going to Vietnam in 2 weeks rather than just not having his ticket booked yet. Does this qualify as lying, or could she just have misunderstood whether he booked it or not?
She definitely said he's leaving next week, and then he turned around, and when I asked him, I was so confused. He's like, when am I leaving? At the moment, it felt like a lie, but maybe it was a misunderstanding.
But why are you so invested in...
I was so invested.
I know you were.
Why, though?
Why?
I did it. I apologize.
Pinpointing everything and fact-checking, and did you say this or did you not?
It's not your husband. Talking to Jessel. I apologize, Jessel, but the Vietnam thing to me was very, very intriguing. I did not understand it. Watching it back, you didn't understand it, which made me even more invested after. But it is what it is. I'm so sorry. I don't want to mess up your marriage, poke holes in your marriage. This is your thing. I apologize.
Thank you.
Jenna, you weren't there for a lot of this conflict. After watching it play out on the show, do you agree with Jessel when she says it was mean girl behavior?
I could see in her eyes it felt like intense, and I also felt like I have a friend who basically flies for miles, so I do understand it.
Thank you, Jenna.
I was like, come on, it didn't seem like it was necessary to go in so deep.
Well, Sai, Jessel, and Erin, now that you've heard everything that each other have to say, where are we? Is there hope for reconciliation?
Yeah.
We've been going out.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, we're We're great. You know, it was a very intense few months and there's highs and lows and emotions, but I think we all understand each other now. We understand our boundaries. We understand, you know,
There needs to be
personalities.
Food.
Food.
I'm hungry. I have a problem.